Well, I was glad that the buzzer finally sounded. I thought if there was a few more minutes, the way that Auburn really fought back and how hard they played, the outcome of the game definitely could have been different. But, you know, I was proud of our team for hanging in there. We talked about the things that we got to be better at immediately. But this team is a team that has shown determination and has shown that even with their backs against the wall and in a serious and clutch situation, that they were able to pull out a win.
We'll take questions for student athletes on the left.
Adrian, can you talk about that three-pointer that you hit that kind of just seemed to kind of just stop their momentum in the late and second half when they were making a push? It seemed like you wanted the basketball and you took that shot. Can you just talk about that?
Well, I knew that we needed a basket at that time and at that moment, and I just thought in the back of my mind, I have to make this shot. This is a momentum changer. They were coming back on us, but we still have the lead. And this will put us up even more and, you know, give us that momentum to push through and get the stop on the defensive end. And just seeing it go through the net really gave me the momentum, okay, we got to get this stop. We got to get this stop.
I think that three-pointer was the last one that you guys scored, the last field goal you scored the rest of the game. How frustrating was that at the end of the game to not be able to score points when they were mounting that run?
It's frustrating when you can't put the ball in the basket. We were getting looks, but it's frustrating when the ball, you know, plays on the rim a little and then comes out. We composed ourselves enough to knock down our free throws, but also get stops on the other end, towards the end.
Any other questions for student athletes? All right, we'll take questions for Coach. Left.
Coach, can you talk about it? It seemed like it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, it seemed like you were able to control the tempo, play at the same pace that you all wanted. And then the second half, but then also talk about your team's resolve. You know, they had a lot of momentum. They were able to cut a lead, but you all, like you articulated, was able to fight through. So can you just talk about that?
Well, we knew in the second half that Auburn was going to come back and really get after us, and they did just that. I thought their 1-2-2 disrupted us, and they were able to get some turnovers, get some easy transition baskets. Our inability to take care of the basketball gave them the momentum that they needed. But our team, you know, we've come off of a nice little stretch here and a nice high, if you will, when you think about what we've been able to do over you know, a 2.5, 3 week span. And as a coach, you worry about, is your team going to have enough in them to come back? And that's always been our case. But I felt as though, you know, even though we were playing, you know, the last 3 minutes of the game, we had a little bit of a cushion. Up until that point, we were doing some really nice things on the defensive end where we weren't scoring and neither were they. Then once their pressure got to us, they started to make their run. But you know, our team is learning. We're still growing, and we're learning how to you know, play in situations where we're up and then be able to still you know, hold off a great team like Auburn.
Question in the back.
Coach, if you could talk about tomorrow's opponent, Georgia, a little bit, the victory that started this streak almost a month ago now.
Well, Georgia is a team that, you know, we are very familiar with, and as they are with us. And when you play a team twice, it's always difficult to come back and try to get that second win. It's going to be a tough matchup for us. We did some good things. We were home. We had just came off of a loss to Tennessee that we felt if we'd have done some things, we could have controlled that one. So our team had a different motivation about them going into the Georgia game about a month ago. So the big question mark is going to be who's going to show up tomorrow, which LSU team is going to show up. Is it going to be that team that has reeled off these victories as of late, or are we going to be that team that's just happy to be here?
Any other questions? Scott?
For Teresa, if you addressed this before I came in, I'm sorry. Late in the game, as Coach said, you were getting some looks. ball spinning out, not going in, and they're making, I know the only one play, Alverson makes a turnaround jumper over you and stuff like that. Was it kind of surreal at all, the way the game was unfolding? Or did it seem a little strange to you, like it wasn't happening? Because it seemed like in some ways y'all weren't playing that badly, just things weren't working out for you.
You know, that's just a testament to Auburn's play. They fought to the very last seconds of the game, and you know, when things weren't going our way, we weren't doing the little things to turn around and help it go our way. Buckling down on defense, she got that shot over me on the. I think there was like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and just little things like that we have the control over, and we need to change those things to help our game turn around and help us for the betterment.
Any other questions? In the far back right.
Coach, I know earlier this year you had some very difficult stretch, lost to some mid-majors. As you look back on it, what would you say are the things that have gotten better to actually cause you to be in a position where you are today and have the streak that you've had?
Well, when you bring in a new group together, and we've got 4 freshmen at the time, and we've got players, really 3 players who saw a lot of minutes the previous year. Everybody's trying to find their way, and we were trying to, what's our cohesion? The one thing that's been a big difference is that this team has been a team as of late, where we've been very unselfish, and we've shared the basketball, and we've supported each other on the defensive end. We started to like playing defense, where we're not overextended, we're not over-rotating our defense, so our rebounding coverage became better. And so when we become a better defensive team and we're rebounding the basketball, we feel offensively we have enough weapons that we can put some points on the board. So those were the things that have, as of late, that I saw a big difference. And it really started at South Carolina. Even though we lost that game, that's when I thought our team was really turning the corner as far as being a team.
Coach, if you would talk about the spark Ann Peterson gave you off the bench. I think they said it was a career high for her. She was getting some open looks and was able to knock down several shots to help you get that big lead.
Well, Ann Peterson is a player that has just accepted, her role for this team. There's games where she has not played. There's games where she's had limited minute, and today this was an opportunity for her to shine. And her teammates did a great job of finding her, getting those open looks. But more importantly, Ann was playing to her strength. And when she does that, she definitely is a plus for us, and she's a positive, and she can help us. I thought, once we broke their press and she had some good looks along the baseline, she knocked those shots down, and those were key for us. We only have 8 players, and so when your name is called, the accountability factor, is even more so, because you can't keep looking down the bench and looking down the bench.
Any others?
And did the big lead work against you a little bit in that? I know you have to be thinking, and maybe the players they think a little bit. You want to conserve a little energy. You're trying to play 4 games in 4 days. Did that? And do you get in a point in a game like that when the other team starts to make a run where it's hard to get back the intensity that helped you get the big lead in the first place?
That plagues a lot of teams, and we're that team that is Auburn. I mean, we were the team that would get down and by 9, 10, 11 points, and then have to fight our way back and claw our way back, but then we wouldn't have enough in the tank to finish off a game. So we understand that mentality, how you really have got to not get yourself in that hole. So we're on the flip side of that, which is new for us, because we really don't get up on teams a lot and have to maintain leads. We typically play, possession for possession, and we go down, the last 4 minutes. So this is good for them. I've been in it. I've played this way too, so it's good for me to revisit it. But this group is learning, and as I said earlier, and they're growing. And everything that we've been faced with, they've taken what they need from each game and used it in the next.